Welcome back to the Redonkulous Gaming Channel. You've got Redonk, and today we're going to get into the review on Antiquia Lost. Before we get into the review, please be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on our logo in the bottom right corner, toss us a like on our Facebook, follow at Redonk Gaming on Twitter, and visit www.redonkulousgaming.com for all the latest content and news. The Nintendo Switch has been starved for a turn-based RPG for quite some time, which is really what made me buy Antiquia Lost in the first place. As it looks right now, Pokemon is still a ways off, and as someone who loves RPGs and turn-based combat, I decided to quench this thirst with this new RPG from EXE Create and Kemco. One of the first things that I noticed when I went to purchase Antiquia Lost was that there were other packages available on the eShop. Upon further investigation, I noticed that they were indeed microtransactions, which all enhanced features and attributes of playable characters within the game. Things such as double experience gains and boosts. Microtransactions tend to irk me in general, so I decided to just ignore them and give Antiquia Lost its fair shake. The story takes place in a kingdom comprised of three main tribes, Earth, Fae, and Ruda. The main character, Bine, part of the Fae tribe, is a do-gooder who is always looking to help people out of a jam. While assisting a fellow townsperson in the forest, he stumbles across a damsel in distress named Lunaria, who is trying to find someone who will help her sick and dying mother. Bine is willing to assist, but just as he gets to Lunaria's mother, she is captured by a demon. After a short chase, Bine and Lunaria dispatch the demon, but not before Lunaria's mother meets her end. A month goes by, and during that time, royalty begins to disappear without a trace, which causes the kingdom to sound the alarm. Lunaria is still shaken by the death of her mother, but she decides to leave the village on her own quest. Bine decides he should escort her on her journey, and they seek out Jade, who is a traveler and a member of the Earth tribe, to be their guide. He agrees to join them, and the three of them set out on their journey to the castle. Along the way, there is a multitude of side quests and new characters introduced, which we will not spoil here. Like most RPGs, a large part of the story is told through conversations with NPCs and party members. Unfortunately for Antiquia Lost, a lot of the conversations are simply over-explanations of happenings, and they do not really enhance the actual story in any way. The exchange between the characters is somewhat pointless in parts, and I got to a point where I was audibly sighing every time the group huddled up to talk about what just happened, or what was about to happen, or what should be happening. This is normally the area of an RPG that brings you closer to the characters, but it really had the opposite effect on me. Gameplay is about what you would expect from a typical turn-based RPG. Antiquia Lost follows that traditional style, and the open-world experiences tends to vary based on who you have leading your group. For example, once the character Saphira, part of the Ruda tribe, joins the party, you can put her as the lead and use her ability to squeeze through narrow spaces that you normally wouldn't be able to go through. Bine has the ability to enhance the ability of others around him, which helps make the most of each party member's traits. So this is what is unique to Antiquia Lost. Each of the main characters has a unique trait, and Bine is able to go ahead and enhance that with his ability. Antiquia Lost gives you the ability to execute combat pretty much automatically by pressing the X button at any time. This completely removes any utility or strategy behind turn-based combat, and it was a real turnoff for me. Other features, such as amalgamation of weapons, does exist within Antiquia Lost, and that allows you to enhance the base weapon of your choosing by disposing of spare weapons that you may have lying around in your inventory. This feature feels a little choppy, and I found myself just destroying all weapons that I found without really putting any thought into it. This made my weapons so powerful so early in the game that there really was no need to cast magic in battle, which again took strategy and enjoyment out of combat. Combat in Antiquia Lost is really boring, actually, but there's one feature that made it somewhat engaging. The group has a synergy gauge of sorts that takes advantage of Bine's ability. When this gauge is full, you can do a number of things. My personal favorite is having Lunaria transform into a demon and unleash a devastating attack on my enemies. Another example would be casting a protection spell on the group, courtesy of Saphira's racial ability, which is resistance to physical attacks. This feature of the game is unique, and it takes multiple battles to build up the gauge. I found myself mindlessly and essentially automatically killing demons, but the second the gauge got full, I got very excited to use this skill as a change of pace. One feature I wanted to call out was how Lunaria levels up. This is very unique to her character and to this game. In order to enhance her stats, she must consume a gem or gems and gain their attributes. Yes, you heard that correctly. Lunaria must eat gems that are found in the world or from combat to progress her character. This is a nuance that is introduced very early in the game, and it makes for a very cool and unique feature. I was really struggling to end on a positive note, so I'll leave it at that. As for my review, Antiquia Lost is a major dud for the Switch. The story is far from gripping, yet the concept and the world that have been created are absolutely great. The guts of this game are really the best parts. Unfortunately, the execution is lacking, and what could have been a great game is instead a game I will likely never touch again. RPGs are meant to be story-centric in nature and should give the gamer a feeling of attachment for the characters. The choppy dialogue and automated turn-based combat really take away from what is, at its core, a very well-thought-out game. The microtransactions absolutely make me cringe. And while this game is available on mobile platforms where microtransactions are expected, there really should not be a place for them on the console, let alone an RPG. I feel this is especially true for RPGs where the grind of leveling is really what enhances your connection with the game and its characters. The best parts of Antiquia Lost are either glossed over or ruined with microtransactions, such as leveling Lunaria with gems, team synergy attacks, spells, transformations, weapon enhancements, etc. It's unfortunate that enhancements were not made to the game to make it more console ready. It still just feels like a mobile game on a console. It's rare that I have buyer's remorse for a game, and I'm generally pretty forgiving, but in this case, I'd rather have my $13 than a digital copy of Antiquia Lost on my Switch. As I've mentioned, Antiquia Lost is riddled with microtransactions, lackluster character development, and turn-based combat that is automated and void of strategy. Therefore, Redonkulous Gaming gives this game a score of 3 out of 10. If you enjoyed our review of Antiquia Lost, then be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Redonk Gaming as we continue to roll out other reviews like this. You can also find our written review on our website at www.redonkulousgaming.com.